to be fixed, and I don't give a damn if I get fined because that shit cheap, and I am tired of the shit. Because I've been nice and I've been humble with it, but I am tired of the shit.
Back a little bit. You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions.
Stephen A. Smith just obliterated Angel Reese after she tanked her sponsorships with on-court tantrums, including smacking a clipboard out of a VP's hands.
Clearly, it's something that a lot of people can't take. So if it's something that you can't take, maybe you shouldn't expose yourself to the backlash.
Her social media antics wrecked her image. She's dragging the league instead of boosting it, and a no-show against the Fever has fueled major quit and trade rumors.
What's not debatable is the fact that Caitlin Clark has handled her branding extremely well. Whereas with Angel Reese, sometimes you find yourself scratching your head and wondering what the hell she's doing. Like that photo right there.
Angel Reese has been working overtime this season to make herself the WNBA's biggest walking headache. And you know it's bad when Stephen A. Smith, the man who's seen every sports disaster under the sun, goes on national TV and basically crowns her America's next jealous teammate. That's not a nickname you earn for hitting game winners or leading your squad to the playoffs. No, that's the one you get for throwing public tantrums, embarrassing your team, and making sure every headline about you is negative.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA.
Let's look at the receipts. The Chicago Sky are sitting at 5-13. That's not just bad. That's second worst in the league bad. That's why do fans even bother buying tickets bad? And before her diehard fans start screaming, but she's putting up monster numbers. Yeah, and what's that gotten them? 7 losses in their last 10 games. 7. That's not a slump, that's a full-on collapse. You can put up 20 points a night, but if your team is getting smacked every week, all you're doing is padding your stats for your Instagram page.
The Chicago Sky stink. They stink. I don't really know why they stink, because I liked a lot of these players.
And now the sponsorship chatter is starting. Oh yeah. Brands aren't blind. They're seeing the tantrums, the messy social media posts, the attitude on the court, and the lousy record, and they're probably asking themselves, do we really want our logo on this circus? It's the perfect storm. Bad performance, bad PR, and bad vibes. And with the way she's acting, I wouldn't be surprised if companies start quietly pulling back those offers.
The best. But that has to be fixed, and I don't give a damn if I get fined because that's cheap, and I am tired of the shit. Because I've been nice and I've been humble with it, but I am tired of the shit.
Now, if you thought this was just about a few bad games, buckle up. Because the real highlight, or lowlight, of Angel Reese's season so far came in what I'm calling the clipboard slap heard around the WNBA. Final minute against the Washington Mystics. The game's tied at 77-77. Shakira Austin steps up to the free throw line, misses both shots. Huge break for Chicago, right? Nope. Austin grabs her own rebound, scores, and suddenly it's 79-77 Mystics.
If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship, if that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big. Yes,
Reese actually does something good for a moment, knocks down 2 clutch free throws to tie it up again. But then, the Sky get hit with a foul call and challenge it. Players head to the bench. Here comes Ann Crosby, the VP of Basketball Operations, respected around the league, clipboard in hand, ready to talk strategy. And what does our leader do? Does she take the clipboard, listen, and help the team try to win? Nope. She smacks it right out of Crosby's hands. On the court, in front of the cameras. That's not leadership. That's a toddler throwing a fit because their juice box wasn't cold enough. And just when you think, okay, she'll apologize for that, right? Nah, she takes it to Twitter and posts, "Those kike were pissing me off." Not happening again, though. So, not only is she still cursing about the situation, she's acting like the person she disrespected was in on the joke. That's not an apology, that's PR suicide. Stephen A. nailed it when he called this the perfect metaphor for her whole career so far. Destructive, disrespectful, and self-sabotaging.
should be criticized, or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong.
And believe it or not, this wasn't even the first sign of her unraveling that week. Less than 48 hours before the clipboard stunt, she decided to go scorched earth on WNBA referees in a post-game press conference. We're talking full F-bombs, full rant mode, turning what should have been a basketball discussion into her personal therapy session. I mean, imagine you just lost a game, and instead of focusing on what the team could improve, your star player's out there airing her grievances like she's on a bad reality show reunion episode.
Yeah, I think we fought really hard. It's tough when you talk to officials and I asked them, hey, we only shot 2 free throws. We've only been to the free throw line twice up into the fourth quarter. And she tells me it's not her job. So I know it's frustrating because I know how hard.
Here's the thing. When you're already under the microscope, every move you make counts double. You can't afford to keep stacking bad moments like you're building a Jenga tower of career-ending mistakes. But Angel doesn't seem to get that. And then she doubles down by making everything worse on social media. That clipboard moment could have been a private locker room issue, maybe even a learning moment. Instead, she turns it into a viral clip by tweeting about it with emojis, making it look like a big joke.
He would have been traded last week. Is she going to play this season? Probably not. Probably not. Like, you're not going to risk someone for a back injury to come back when they're not going to make the playoffs. You're not going to do that. I'm going to be honest. Like, there's no way.
And this is where Stephen A's roast really hits. He calls it trend-chasing controversy. She's not chasing wins, she's chasing headlines. And not the good kind. Instead of building a brand around leadership and performance, she's building one around chaos and petty drama. That's how you alienate teammates, staff, sponsors, and even the fans who used to ride for you.
Maybe they're waiting for the, for the WNBA draft, and maybe they're just going to say, you know what, we're going to go and trade.
Her whole tone on social media is like she's above accountability. Crying emojis, shrug emojis, casual profanity, it all screams, I don't care what you think. That might play cute when you're in college and winning, but in the pros, your image is your paycheck. And right now, she's lighting hers on fire.
I like about the backlash. Clearly, it's something that a lot of people can't take. So if it's something that you can't take, maybe you shouldn't expose yourself to the backlash and provoking the backlash.
It's not even like she's getting heat for one bad week. This is a pattern. A constant cycle of emotional blow-ups, public disrespect, and social media arrogance. And Stephen A, being Stephen A, is not the guy to let that slide. When he labeled her America's next jealous teammate, he wasn't just talking about her attitude toward Caitlin Clark or her on-court antics. He was calling out a whole vibe, the vibe of someone who's more focused on being the center of attention than the center of a winning team.
But if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we said no.
That's a possibility.
Then are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in and elevate Caitlin Clark?
And honestly, what makes it worse is how preventable all of this is. She's talented, she's marketable. She had every opportunity to turn this season around for herself and the team. Instead, she's handing her critics the easiest ammo they've ever had. She's giving Stephen A and every sports talk show in the country free content every week.
Her, me, Ariel, I know we belong also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But let's be real here. When your team's 5-13, when you've lost 7 out of your last 10, when your sponsorships are side-eyeing you and your public image is circling the drain, maybe it's time to stop slapping clipboards and start slapping the scoreboard with some wins. But nah, Angel Reese seems more comfortable living in this constant state of drama, as if the WNBA is just her personal stage for tantrums.
Listen, she's a beautiful young lady. And there's a lot of beautiful young ladies in the WNBA. But when you do that, you can't come down the line and complain about being objectified.
So here we are. A team in the gutter, a player whose monster stats aren't saving anyone, sponsorship deals wobbling like they're on a Jell-O foundation, and Stephen A. Smith turning her career into a roast session for millions to watch. If this is the plan for her brand, congratulations, she's executing it perfectly. But if the goal was to be remembered as a great player, she's doing the exact opposite. And the worst part? Every single thing she's done lately, from the clipboard slap to the Twitter clownery, just keeps proving Stephen A's point. She's not just a problem for her opponents. She's a problem for her own team, her own league, and most importantly, herself.
And when you do stuff like that and you're drawing attention to yourself because of that, that can be problematic for you.
All right, let's be honest. If Stephen A. Smith's first roast of Angel Reese was already setting the room on fire, the Caitlin Clark comparison was him walking in with a flamethrower. The man came armed with receipts, numbers, and the kind of stats that make you sit there and go, ouch. Games with Caitlin Clark? The WNBA is pulling in an average of 1.178 million viewers. Games without her? That number doesn't just dip, it nosedives to 394,000. That's a 3 times drop, not double, triple. You don't need a sports analytics degree to understand what that means. Clark isn't just a player, she's the heartbeat of the league's popularity.
So therefore, even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits. Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it.
And it's not just the eyeballs on the screen. Whenever Clark's on the court, ticket prices jump, merchandise flies off shelves, and social media lights up like it's the Super Bowl. You can literally track the spike in engagement every time she plays. And while all of that is happening, what's Angel Reese doing? Oh, just spending more time trying to body slam Clark than figuring out how to ride the wave of all that momentum. She's out here acting like Caitlin Clark's success is some kind of personal insult instead of realizing the obvious. If the league grows, everyone benefits.
We need to get better. Obviously, we've had up and down games, but we're all-stars. And we're going to continue to prove it. Obviously, this is the last week for all-star voting. Camilla, she should be all-star. It's her first year. She could have got it last year with injury, but she should be an all-star this year.
That's when Stephen A. hit her with one of the coldest jabs of the year. Instead of protecting the golden goose, you're plucking its feathers. And that's exactly it. Clark is the golden goose right now. She's bringing in new fans, pulling in national attention, and making the WNBA relevant to people who didn't even know it had a season. The smart move? Protect her, market her, play alongside her energy. But no, Reese and others seem more focused on taking shots at her, literally and figuratively. And guess what happens when Clark goes down with an injury? The whole league feels it.
In doing the things that she has done, let's face reality. She's going to be attached to Caitlin Clark to some degree.
Speaking of headlines, let's talk about the no-show incident. Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And Angel Reese decides not to show up. And before the back injury crowd comes running in, let's remember the context. This is the same Gainbridge she's previously painted as dangerous for her based on, wait for it, a yodeling fan or some weird animal noise. No, seriously, the original incident that fueled her claim turned out to be nothing more than an odd sound in the arena. But instead of letting it go, she amplified it like it was some grand conspiracy against her.
A lot of the things when it comes to the Chicago Sky, like it's just been an absolute disaster for them. I don't think
so. When she's absent for that game, people start connecting dots. Is it really the back injury, or is this personal? The official line is injury-related rest, but let's not act like speculation hasn't been bubbling for weeks, and it's not like the Sky were doing great against the Fever anyway. In the last 2 years, Chicago's record against Indiana is a brutal 1-7. And here's the kicker. 2 of those losses happened with Reese actually in the lineup. So this isn't exactly a case of we'd win if Angel played. The Fever have been owning the Sky regardless. Then comes Stephen A's final word. And he doesn't just close the book, he slams it shut. Get on board or get left behind. The Caitlin Clark train is moving, with or without you. That's not just advice, that's a warning. The WNBA is getting a golden moment right now with a superstar who's drawing unprecedented attention, and you either ride that momentum or get run over by it. And right now, Reese isn't even at the station.
Take us through the flagrant foul from your perspective, just what you saw in that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, refs got it right. No more.
He roasts her as a walking headline, and not the kind that wins you championships. Nope, her headlines are about tantrums, ejections, beef with refs, and social media spats. She's not making news for triple doubles or clutch performances, she's making news for everything except basketball. That's how you become the league's cautionary tale.
issue because she deleted her Instagram, and that's the most important part about all of this, because clearly she's uncomfortable with some of the backlash that she's getting because she deleted her.
Stephen A. lays it out plain. Talent without discipline is a liability, not an asset. And Reese, for all her skill, is proving the point. She's showing every rookie, every fan, every sponsor exactly how quickly hype can turn into headache. One day you're the rising star, the next day you're the example coaches use to warn young players about wasting potential. If you're tired of the drama and want the real stories no one else will say, hit that subscribe button and stick around. We're just getting started.